Are you a victim or are you a victor? Are you a victim or are you a victor? I know only one of those will move you out of the porta potty to your best life. Now, why does someone end up one of these two things? Well, maybe caught in the victim part. It's usually suffering or trauma. It turns out in this world we live in, 7.5 out of 10 people experience loss, trauma, or betrayal from a primary relationship. 7.5 out of 10. It's one heck of a horrendous statistic. Now, keep in mind, I love the victors. I love the victims. Once again, I only know that one of those will get out of the porta potty and lead their best life. And here's what we have to do when we experience trauma or suffering. I want to share with you two brief stories today. One's really brief. And it's about Stradavirius violins. The Stradivari family made violins in the 17th and 18th centuries. Their violins are super famous. They are worth, I think one recently sold for $16 million, and it was made in the 17th or 18th century. They have a viola that they made back then that's about to sell at auction for $40 million. Now, it is simple economics as to why these violins are so priceless. Of course, they're not being made anymore, 17th, 18th century. But one of the amazing thing about the Stradavarius violins, of why they are so highly sought after as collector's pieces, well, there's a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is these little violins and violas, they have maintained their sound quality hundreds of years later. Now, how do they do it? And that's the moral of the story, which is called north-facing wood. North-facing wood. Well, when they decided that they were going to do a batch of musical instruments, the family would study the weather patterns from the preceding years. They would study the weather patterns from the preceding years. And they would use north-facing wood to make their violins. The north-facing wood that had been blown against by the elements harder than all of the other wood. They would only select the wood that had been blown hardest against. Why? Because that was the victor wood. It wasn't the victim wood. It was the victor wood. It was the strongest wood. So at some point, you're going to have to deal with the trauma in your life. You're going to have to deal with the suffering in your life. I wish you didn't. But you got to let it make you stronger and not bitter. The second story is an Eagle Scout story. There was an Eagle Scout who his last assignment to complete his Eagle Scout scoutaging. I invent words from time to time, as you may know. I'm sure that was not one. Well, his last assignment to get his Eagle Scout badge was to go out into the forest and collect plant samples and to study some bugs. And one of the bugs that he needed to study was the Luna moth. And he was out trying to check it off the list when he came across a Luna moth cocoon. Now, the crazy thing is, this Luna moth was actually in the stage of breaking out of the caterpillar larvae stage in the cocoon into the big, 7 or 9 inch wingspan Luna moth that he was. Now, the Eagle Scout, the wannabe Eagle Scout, he's looking at his book and he sees a cocoon that big, and then he sees a Luna moth that big, and there just seems to be this struggle going on in the cocoon. And he's like, this has got to be an anomaly. Like, there's no way there could be this giant moth in there. It can't get out. It's going to die. So he takes out his pocket knife, clicks it open, and he slits open the cocoon. And the little larvae, all covered in this liquid, goes plopping down to the ground, and he's like, oh crap, what did I do? What did I do? And then those ants, they sense it, and they start scurrying over to it, you know, getting ready for their Quincy's buffet. And the Eagle Scout has to act, so he grabs the larvae up off the ground with the dirt and the juice on it, and he puts it in a specimen jar, and he books it back home to the Scoutmaster, and he goes, Scoutmaster, I came across this Luna moth, and he was in his cocoon, and I knew he couldn't get out, so I cut him out, and then he dropped to the ground, and the ants tried to get him. The Scoutmaster says, he's the master, of course, so he says, stop right there. You have made a mistake, but you can transcend beyond the mistake. But all of that activity in the cocoon, all of that struggle, every time the little Luna moth larvae struggled against the cocoon was drying off the liquid. And that at the precise moment, the precise right moment, the cocoon would have broken off, all the goo and juices would have been off the Luna moth wings, and he would have flown away and not been eaten by the ants. He says, son, what I'm telling you is this. The struggles are what make it great. Our struggles, we have to let them make us great. Our suffering, we have to let it be the north-facing wood. The third question of highly engaged people, how do we do it? We've got to take the suffering, we've got to take the trauma, and we have to let it make us great. How I chose to make mine great, and man, I've been through a lot, is to create meaning from it. That's just one way. Doing this channel with Kaylee, it's one of the ways her and I are taking our suffering and creating meaning from it. You got to let it make you strong. You got to create meaning from it. You got to let it make you great. But you can't let it make you bitter. You can't let it make you angry. You can't make it want you to go out and destroy things and topple them over and be angry, revengeful, resentful, and hatred. Because that will never get you out of the porta potty. Hope you liked today's videos. Kaylee and I, we love you and appreciate you so much. We keep seeing our subscribers go up every week, and we're just so humble and we're so thankful for it. And if there's anything that you want us to ever cover, just please ask. We are here for you. We want to help you get out of the porta potty. So please hit like, please hit subscribe, and please share these videos. And if you ever have a question, please reach out to us. We literally are real people that we would love to hear from you and reach back out. We just want to help you win. Love you all. Bye-bye.
We want to help 10 million people live their life with passion and purpose. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, please comment down below any video ideas you may have, and please share this video so we can reach 10 million people.